Good morning, everyone. So this workshop is going to be about how you can become how you can become a node operator for Waku. Now, it's as simple as you could run a Waku node in your laptop if you want, or if you could run on any cloud-based server as well. But today I'm going to present basically various approaches that you could use in order to run a Waku node and be part of the Waku network. And yeah, so let's get on with it. Now, just to give you a brief, the Waku node, as you can see here, it follows the concept of adaptive node. That means you could be part of the Waku network by simply having your code run in the browser, which acts as a light node, as you can see here. And you could run it on your phone, or you could run it on your desktop and be part of the Waku network. And at the same time, you could see that the resources required are less to more, as you can see. That means it doesn't matter that you don't need a beefy server just to run a Waku node. Okay, so now one more important thing is when you run a Waku node, by default you're acting as a relay. The objective of relay here is just to make sure messages are dispersed and distributed in the Waku network. So now, what is the current state of node operators, right? It is permissionless. That means anyone could run a node, as I've mentioned before, on your laptop. And right now, we don't have any incentivization. We are working on it, and probably you're going to hear about it soon, that if you run a node, how you're going to get incentivized. So yeah, and predictable resource consumption. That means if you're running the node on the network, you would know what is the resource consumption. When I say resource consumption, it's like the bandwidth required to run the node on the network, and so on and so forth. And the most important aspect is DOS protection. Now, since we are talking about a peer-to-peer network, it's possible that since if you're running a Waku node, how do you make sure you're protected from various denial of service attacks? So that is also work in progress right now. But actually, we're going to hear about it very soon, probably in another month or so about it. Sorry, I think you had a question. Yeah.
Yes. What's this information? Are you ready to share some more information about the launch or something?
It's as I've mentioned, it's not yet ready. There's still some research going on as to what kind of incentives that we want to provide. And yeah, I think once it's available, you should hear about it. Yeah, you can just follow us on Discord or Twitter, and yeah, you should be able to get an idea once we have some announcement around. Yeah. Now, yeah, what are various different ways to run a Waku node? And yeah, I mean, the first is Docker Compose. If you're familiar with Linux containers and Docker, then we have a Docker Compose. As you can scan this QR code in order to access it, and you can run it on your laptop. I'm going to take through the steps, which is like very easy. All right, just give me a second. Yeah. So as you can see, this is the nwaku compose repository. Nwaku is the reference implementation for Waku. And as you can see, there's a compose file here, which is now, why are we having nwaku compose? Because in order to run a Waku node, we have various protocols. As I mentioned, relay is one of the basic protocol, and we have protocols like store, which depend on Postgres database, because the messages get stored for a certain period of time in the database so that other nodes can retrieve the messages. Now, in order to make it simple for everyone to run, we actually packaged all the required services in a Docker Compose. The services, as you can see, are nwaku, which is the nwaku image, and then we have Prometheus and Grafana, which helps you monitor your node. We have a nice dashboard. I'm going to just show it once I run it on my laptop. And yeah, so please go ahead, and I would recommend to run this node. Also, we are having a small competition that any operator who runs the node from now for 24 hours you could, I'm going to go through the steps for that a little later, but yeah, all you need to do is run a node and share your multi-address with us, and we're going to keep pinging the node, for the next 24 hours, and yeah, we have some prizes for, the node operators who run their node for most time. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll take you through the steps, for using Waku Compose. It's pretty straightforward. You can just clone the GitHub repo. And now, one important aspect to note is by default, when you start a Waku node, the multi-address for the node is generated every time. A new multi-address is generated every time. That is built by design to have some sort of anonymity so that users cannot track your multi-address and basically identify your behavior. But since we are running a competition, it would be difficult for us to track if the multi-address keeps changing. So for that purpose, what I would recommend is you could generate a node key. Yeah, you could just go to one of the websites like where you can generate a random 64-bit character node key, or if you want to do it on console, you could just do it with just give me a second. Yeah, you could just generate it using this OpenSSL command. Yeah, so now the output of it is nothing but a node key. This will ensure your multi-address is fixed and doesn't change across restarts. So for example, once I have the node key, and I can just set the value of the node key as a variable, and yeah, I could just say docker compose start. So let me do something else because this would obviously not work. Yeah. All right. Now, if I run this, it would basically start. Sorry. Let me run it in detached mode so that it would keep running in the background, and I don't need to worry about restarting it. All right. And as you can see here, under Waku Compose, there are 4 different containers that are running: Postgres, Waku, and Grafana, and this is the Prometheus exporter. Now, as I've mentioned, we have a nice dashboard. So once you run the node, you could just click on this link. That would take you to a dashboard. Let me just share the link here. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, we have the dashboard which indicates the number of messages per second that are relayed by this node, and what is the average message size in bytes, and like various metrics with respect to message size. And we just have to wait for a few seconds so that it discovers the peers. So basically what happens is when I run this node, it connects to our fleet, and then it gets the bootstrap information from there, and then it uses discovery v5 to discover various nodes which are there in the network, and it starts connecting to various nodes. So as you can see here, right now there are 3 peers connected, and let's hopefully give it some time, and it should be able to discover some more nodes. But as you can see, there are messages being relayed by my local node already from this graph here, and you can see the average message size as well. Yeah, I think we can come back to this a little bit later and check what's going on. Now, this is the first way that you could run a Waku node in your laptop using Docker Compose. Now, if you don't want to run, like, for example, let's say if you have your own Postgres database already installed that you use for development, and let's say you don't want the Grafana and Prometheus and so on, you could still just run a simple Docker container, which is just the Waku Docker, which is available. And you could still be part of the network and, yeah, let it keep running from today till tomorrow. Now, there are other ways to run, for example, if you don't want to use Docker, let's say because, for whatever reason, if you just want to use it for your development where you want to run a local node and let's say connect your test application which you're building in order to communicate with the network, then you could use the binary as well directly, and you could run a Waku node. Now, this is the QR code. If anyone wants to run, just give me, yeah. So this is the latest in Waku binary, and as you can see, if you scroll down, you can see various images for different platforms. We have AMD 64 Linux, macOS, ARM 64 macOS. So you should be able to download these images, and there are a few basic command line arguments that you need to provide, and you should be able to spin up a node just like that. Any questions so far? No? Okay. Let me just go back to the dashboard and see. All right. Yeah. Now, one interesting thing to note in this dashboard is the reachability. For example, if you see, since I think my laptop is sitting behind a NAT, which is not allowing a public connectivity, you can see the node is not reachable directly. That means if someone has to connect to my node from outside, they would not be able to connect because it's not reachable. But if you enable UPnP normally in your router, you should be able to connect to your node via public IP address as well. Yeah, one more important thing, in order to submit your multi-address, there are various ways to do it. You could just go to the Waku node logs, and I think if you just go to the start, it's going to dump the public address of this node, for example, as you can see here. No, that's not the full multi-address. Yeah, as you can see here, this is the full multi-address of my node, and you could post it. I'll just provide a way for you to post your multi-address so that we can keep track of who is running the longest. And yeah, now this is one way you could get the multi-address for your node. Now there is also an RPC, JSON RPC available for it. You could as well use the JSON RPC in order to get the multi-address. I'm just going to show it. And if anyone needs help, I can share this with you. As you can see, I ran the JSON RPC and I could see the public multi-address of the node. Sorry? That's a good point. Let me just, sorry, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'll share it on the Waku channel on ETHRome. Yeah, that's going to be, yeah. Let me just copy paste it there. All right, let the Discord load. I'm going to paste it there once it loads, yeah. And let me just check the dashboard to see if there's any change. No, all right. Yeah.
Changes with this one because this is from Waku guy.
Yeah, sure, no problem. It's okay. Let's just see if it works. Yeah, there's a delay. I do have the HDMI thing, actually. I can directly connect that, maybe easier, yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. post the link as well where you can share this multi-address. Just give me a second. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so this is one application which my colleague has built on top of Waku, which could be used for a Q&A. So we are using the same application where you could just share the multi-address once you have. Yeah. Okay. Now, what are the other ways? Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. Uh-huh. I have not heard of that, but yeah, I mean, if okay, okay, yeah, that's useful. If you could just post in that as well in the Discord, yeah, yeah, that would be helpful. Thank you. So you're saying we could expose the local host as a public address, even if, let's say, we are behind like a firewall? Ah, okay, okay, okay. Oh yeah, that would be helpful. Thank you. All right. Now, there are also other ways you could run Waku node. Now, this is, there are two approaches. One is called DAP node. Have you heard of DAP node? DAP node is like they sell a specific hardware that you can purchase, and you could run any blockchain or any Web3 kind of nodes at your home. Now, that is one approach via DAP node. They also provide a software package, which is kind of like Docker Compose, I guess, and you could use that to run, the Waku node in the laptop as well. So that is one, and apart from that, there is also this decentralized cloud called as Akash Network, wherein you need some Akash tokens in order to run a node, and they run your node in a decentralized way. So you could as well use this and run the Waku node and share your multi-address with us. So one of the things that we're going to give away as part of, let's say, who runs the node longer is some of the Akash network tokens, so that, yeah, you could use it to run any node that you want. All right, now the competition. Yes, as I've talked about it, we are running a small competition where, yeah, you could run a Waku node, share its multi-address with us, and I've posted in the Discord how you could get your node's multi-address, and you could scan this QR code and share your multi-address with us, and yeah, keep it up throughout, till 24 hours from now, which is probably 11 a.m. tomorrow, and yeah, you can win and collect your prize. We have a special swag for people who would be running the node and supporting the network. Yeah, and also we have openings in our team that if you're interested, you could contribute anyway because the whole Waku code is open source. And you could check us out on GitHub and contribute, or if you are interested in joining us, you could just check out the jobs that are available. You can scan this QR code and yes. Now, if you just want to participate in our community, there are various ways. You could follow us on Twitter, you could join the Discord, and yeah, we are pretty active there. And yeah, we have a Telegram group as well, and you can check out our GitHub on github.com/waku.org. All right, any questions? No? Okay. If you want to have questions offline, you could just post it onto this Q&A app that my colleague developed, and we are happy to answer the questions that are posted there. Yeah. All right. That's it. Thank you, everyone. Yeah.